Hey, what's up, y'all? I installed some blind spot cameras in my truck for my AS project, and I'll demonstrate real quick. Two position switch I installed here, like one's for each camera or off. So, camera feed for the left side of my truck behind me, and then feed for the right side behind me. And I still have a backup camera in here, so wired in with that circuit, backup camera, and then still takes override over the backup camera. Alright, so I will go show you guys where these are mounted and how this works. So most of the wiring is in the back, connected to the screen here I'll talk about, and I threaded it behind here. There's like a mess here, I'm sorry, but I know what it looks like, so that's all that matters. And so these are the two wires here for each camera. I threaded into the firewall breach down here that goes to my other my lights and stuff that are on the outside of my truck. Here is that firewall breach with the two wires for the cameras that come out here. I thread them through the frame, and they go to the mounting point. So here's the left one here. I angled them to where the display overlaps with the actual side mirrors, so I could see the change from camera feed to mirrors. There's the right one. I got these here from highlift.com. They mount to the bed railing of my Tacoma. And then I just bought some hinges and nuts from Lowe's and mounted it here. Same thing with the other one. So I will discuss the circuitry here. This might get a little boring for y'all, but I'll try to make it make sense. Okay, so the parts that I ordered online, I ordered from a website called Anytime Backup Camera. This guy had wires and connections that he used to display his backup camera whenever he wanted. So I used similar parts for that. This part connects to the back of my screen, and it's an RCA connection. RCA is like those yellow plugs that plug into the back of a TV, like those little circular plugs, so they display feed. So same kind of concept there. So I ordered this RCA connection from him, and then I ordered this connection that has two wires. One wire that when power is felt by that wire, it tells the screen to display what is coming from the feed. The other one is just a 12-volt wire that he spliced off to use, so you can use power for your circuit. So, and then the last thing I did order from him was a relay that had RCA connections to the relay. Alright, so we'll describe how it works real quick. So, power comes from this wire here and goes to that switch that I had installed that I showed you. So either the left camera or the right camera. Just follow the left camera. Power will go through this red wire to the left camera, then to ground. Ground is just a metal that is not energized, but it completes the circuit through the path because vehicle circuits are grounded. And then the camera will, once power is felt by the camera, it will display. The display feed will go to this RCA splitter that I got from Best Buy. So it goes through this splitter and goes to the relay. Now normally this relay is lined up to receive feed from the backup camera, but when either of these cameras are on, we'll follow. So power went to that camera. Power will also go through this diode here, which I'll talk about in a second, and go to this relay. So when this relay gets power, which will be the same time as the left or right camera is on, then it switches from backup mode to the blind spot camera modes, which is why when I was in reverse, it still showed these cameras because it switched over from backup, broke the backup connection. And then power will also go back to the screen and say, hey screen, I have power here, I need to display what's coming from this RCA splitter. So what these diodes do here, I'll talk about real quick. They prevent electricity from flowing backwards. So normally if you just have a wire, power can go, or electrons can flow one way or the other way. Through a diode, electricity can only flow one way and not backwards. And I did this because if I didn't and I turned on the left camera, power would come here and go back and also turn on the right camera. So then I would have two cameras on at the same time. So that's what these two diodes, they prevent both cameras from being on at the same time. This one, because I had this relay connected here, it prevents, when I'm in backup mode, it prevents the backup camera from energizing the relay here. And that's only because where I connected the point. I could have connected it somewhere else and probably not how to do that, but this still works. So, and then, yeah. That's it for the circuit that is installed right here. I also have this circuit that I have tested but haven't installed yet, but I need to still like splice into the wires. But what I have here is a circuit that allows these cameras to turn on with the turn signals. So this, when I install this switch, it will be either in like cameras operate with turn signal mode or they are not operating with turn signals. And I spliced off a connection from each blinker, and it goes through a diode to a capacitor to these relays. So because as you know, your blinkers turn on and then turn off and then turn on and then turn off, I needed to make that just an on signal. So what I did was power goes through this diode, through a capacitor, and to the relay. So what the capacitor does is, while it's on, it charges up, and then while this signal is off, it discharges power to the relay. And then the diode makes sure that power is discharged to the relay and not back to the lights. Otherwise, my lights would just be on the whole time that I'm trying to turn right or turn left. So the diode prevents lights from turning on like that and makes sure that the relay stays shut. So when I power the switch and I use a blinker left or right, this relay will stay shut, and these points here, B, D, and A and C, are just bypasses on the first circuit. So what I will do is wire this to that relay, this to the other side. So when a right signal is on, instead of having to turn this switch, it will just power the right camera and display. Yep. But yeah, so this part is tested. I just haven't permanently installed because I had to find the right size of capacitors and find the right wiring. I did originally think that these alternating signal would be in the switch or a full signal, but turns out the turn signal switch here can't be used because of the way the power is consistent here, and they go to the same ground wire, so there's no like alternating power for left or right camera. So I had to like find through the Tacoma wiring where I should make this tap off. But yeah, that's how the circuit works. Again, that's them in action. Yep, that's my project. So thanks guys, hope y'all have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.